Zeinabu Diatta pierces one oyster shell after the other with a practiced hand. She heads a group of women who've been working together for 7 years now. They string shells that they use to farm oysters. Zeinabu and the other women learned this method in courses offered by the local environmental agency.
Our village has always harvested oysters, but at some point we realized we couldn't use our old methods anymore. We bought materials like these cords and introduced this new method.
They took out a small loan as startup capital. It's long since been paid off, and now the women finance themselves.
This new method is gentle on the environment. The oysters reproduce easily, and our harvest is better than it used to be.
The people of Nemaba had never given much thought to the environment before. They live primarily from the oyster harvest and some fishing as well. This idyllic estuary, several hundred kilometers from the Senegalese capital Dakar, is lined with mangroves, which provide nesting grounds for several kinds of fish and for oysters. The women have just a few hours to finish their work before the tide comes in. Zeinabu says that for years, the villagers chopped the mangrove roots to get at the oysters. But in doing so, they destroyed the very foundation of their livelihood. The methods they use now is no less work, but it's more sustainable. After about a half-hour's walk, they come to the oyster bed. It's 40 degrees Celsius in the shade and humid, an ideal climate for oysters. The larvae attach themselves to the shells and grow.
Now we've finished hanging up the new strings. The work we do here isn't easy. It's really very hard work. We don't have the right clothes or footwear. Here you can see I cut myself on the sharp edges of the shells.
They do what they must to make a living. The smaller oysters are put in net sacks and kept wet until they mature.
This was a good harvest. The little oysters are especially delicious.
It takes 14 months for the mollusks to mature enough for harvesting, work that has always been done by the women here. Zeinabu and the others have cause to celebrate. The harvest could hardly have turned out better. Each woman carries a kilo of oysters on her head. They bring in a total of 80 kilos a year. They clean and smoke the shellfish as soon as they get back to the village.
This work is quite lucrative. We can support ourselves with the money we make and also pay the school fees. And if any one of us or the children falls ill, now we can afford to buy medicine.
The oysters are laid out to dry in the sun. 2 days later, Senegal can take them to market. She put some of them aside for her own little shop. She gets the equivalent of €5 a kilo. The women share the earnings equally.
We sell our oysters at the weekly market too. We can get double the price for them there.
The women have plans that go beyond the local market. They're going to try to increase their harvest and sell the oysters at markets throughout Senegal.